and welcome to English 110 Pilot class. This is Unit 5 Grammar. Today we're talking about WH and how questions. If you have your book, turn to page 154 in the back. So, today we will talk about WH and how questions and how we use these to get different kinds of information, right? So we know yes, no questions, and with those questions we can only get a yes or a no answer. But these are information questions, and of course we want to get different kinds of information. So we can see here, we have an example, where is she going, right? Where is asking for location, right? So to London. What does she do? This specific question is asking about job. When we ask, what does she do? Or what do you do? That's asking about your job. So here it says she's a software designer. So we're getting more information in these answers than with yes or no questions. Okay, let's look here. So here are the main question words and the kinds of information they are used for. You probably already know a lot of these, right? Where, this is for places, location. When, this is for times, dates. Why, these are for reasons. You know, why? Because. What, this is for things. Who is for people. Which is also for things. And then how, we can use how in lots of different ways. So we can use how as like an explanation. You know, if you say like, make me a cup of coffee, and you might say how. Like, I don't know how to make coffee. How do I make coffee? So that would be an explanation, explaining something. But then we can also use it with other words to ask for other types of information. How often, that's frequency. How many times is it happening? How often? How often do you go to school? How much? That's cost, right? We definitely want to know that. How much? How many? That's number. How long? That's length of time, right? How long is this movie? How long is the lecture? So we can use how with other words to ask for even more information. So you definitely want to know these words because these are the words that we use the most and for WH questions. And we say WH questions, but how is included in the WH list. Okay, so let's look at question construction. How do we make the question? Right? We cannot just say what. Well, we can say what, why, how, when, you know, in a conversation, but that's usually in response to something someone has already said. Do you want to watch a movie? Yeah, when? You know, like then you're asking like what time. So you can ask it just the WH question, just that word in a conversation. But here we're making questions. We're making a whole question with it. And there are three main ways to make a WH or how question. We can do it with an auxiliary verb, a helping verb, and a main verb. So we have a helping verb and a main verb. We could do it with the main verb be, right? So am, is, are. And we can do it with a modal verb and a main verb. So let's look at the different ways. First one, main verb and auxiliary verb. So you can see here we have the WH word first, and here how much, that goes together. That goes together. And then we can have another word here, and then the auxiliary verb. So question word, auxiliary verb. You can see here, does, do, is, have. So there are lots of verbs that we can use with the question word to ask the question. And then we have the subject, and then we have the main verb here. And you can see this main verb is usually more of an action verb. Like, admire, studying, made. These are more action verbs, whereas these auxiliary verbs are more linking verbs. Okay? Then we have here main verb be. Again, we have the question word at the beginning, right? Those question words are always going to be at the beginning. Then we have the main verb be, but we don't just say be, right? We have to change be into am or is or are, right? We don't say I be, she be, they be. Say I am, she is, we are. So here we have to change it as well. Why aren't your cars popular? When is your birthday? So you see here, we're not matching the be verb with the question word. We're matching it with the subject here. So here, cars, they, right? So they are. Here, birthday, singular, so it is. So still we have to match this main verb with the subject here. Okay? Then we have main verb and a modal verb. So we've talked about modal verbs before. Should, can, must. So we can use these modal verbs in the question. We still have this question word at the beginning, when, what, but then we have modal verb, and then the subject, and then a main verb. And you can see here, this could be an action verb, or it could be a linking verb. So when should we start the meeting? What can I do? So we use the modal verb to ask questions as well, but we still need this question word here at the beginning. Okay, so we have 3 different types of questions that we can make here. The main thing that I want you to focus on are these right here, and knowing when do we use these. What does it mean when we say where? What are we asking? Right? If my friend calls and says, "Hey, meet me somewhere," or meet me at the coffee shop, I might say, "Where? What coffee shop?" Right? So we're going to use these question words a lot. So you definitely need to know what it means when someone asks when or why or how. You need to know what these mean. So that's what I want you to really focus on. I do want you to know the way to form these questions, but this right here is really the main thing I want you to focus on, is knowing when someone asks you why, what are they asking you? That's what I want you to focus on. So then look down here. That's what you're doing. You're writing in. This is practice 1 on page, page 154. I think it's page 154. And you're writing in the question word, the WH or how word. Okay? And then for practice number 2, you're reordering the words and the punctuation to make questions. Right? And remember, this question mark is going to go at the end, because we always put our full stops or our question marks at the end of the sentence. Here we put our question mark at the end of the question. Okay, so this is on your discussion board, so please answer on the discussion board. And if you have any questions, we can talk about it in the next class. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.